Blizzard accidentally leaked the release date for Mist of Pandaria Classic. Yes, it happened again. Now, as you guys know, they made like an announcement. They said it was coming out on spring. I am talking about American spring, right? And they said in the disclaimer in their website, it is going to launch on or before August 31st. Of course, this is the last date they could possibly launch it, and that's because they are selling a pre-order package, and if they do not meet that date, they will have to refund you. So it is not intended to be the actual release date. They always want to have some wiggle room, because what happens if it's the last day that you want to release and something goes wrong, or a server goes down, or whatever can be, you know, like anything can happen. So they obviously want to give themselves a little time, you know, just in case something goes wrong and they have to delay it for a week or two. So August 31st is not the intended date. The question in the community, the discussion is, what is the intended date? How much earlier than August is it gonna be? And if we look at this Reddit post, a guy found this on Wago. That Wago is a database. You may know Wago.io, the website where you get your week orders and such. Joyous Journeys will most likely launch on May 27th. So Joyous Journeys is just a blanket experience buff that everybody can get in the pre-patch of an expansion. They do this every expansion launch. The duration of the pre-patch, you can level a character 50% faster. We do not know if it's gonna be even higher this time, but it's usually 50%. When Classic went to TBC, we got Joyous Journeys for 2 weeks. When TBC went to Rat of the Lich King, same thing. When Rat went to Cataclysm, same thing. At the end of the expansion, Blizzard wants you to have an easier time re-rolling or making a new character so people can catch up and start playing, right? They want to get the most people as possible at launch. But anyway, Joyous Journeys is technically a holiday. In the code of the game, Joyous Journeys is just like Christmas or Valentine's or Easter. You know how there's like events on the holidays? Well, Joyous Journeys is just one of those. And if we look at the database right here, this right here, Joyous Journeys, is the one at the very bottom. And if we move all the way here, the 27th of May of 2025. So that's the time it should start. So that's in like what, 5 days? In 5 days, we should be getting Joyous Journeys. And here's the crazy part, okay? Here's the part that everybody's losing their minds about. Because in the database, and they didn't have to do this, this is advice for Blizzard if you wanna not spoil your release dates anymore, they put the final duration of the buff in here. Okay, now this 1319 is in hours. So how many hours is 1319? That is almost exactly 55 days. So if we take the 27th of May of 2025 and we add 55 days, we are gonna get a date of 21st of July. And that's, at least right now, the intended date for the release of Pandaria. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. I heard people saying, especially in the streamer circles, people are saying, oh, July is a little too early. They always do it in August or maybe October. Yes, but there is also TBC. TBC is coming out in November most likely. And there is also the new retail expansion, which I think is coming out early next year. Am I wrong on that? I do not know. I gotta keep up with that. So once again, I talked about this many times before. We got so many freaking WoW versions now that it is very hard to fit on the schedule. So we are gonna see a lot more unusual release dates just because Blizzard is trying to get enough room in between expansion launches. Makes sense. I do not envy the job of the guy that makes all that calendar. Like, can you imagine thinking about, oh, I don't want to compete with GTA 6 because that's going to destroy us, and I don't want to compete with like Cataclysm and Soul and MoP and TBC and retail. That is not an easy job. Anyway, like this Redditor predicted in the post, July 21st. And honestly, a month of wiggle room makes a lot more sense. Again, the reason they gave themselves this wiggle room is because they want to make sure everything is fine and they want to have some extra time in case something goes wrong. So there is no guarantee that they won't delay it. They might, but now we have a date range. At the earliest, it's going to come out in July 21st, and at the latest, it's going to come out in August 31st. I think it's pretty likely that we're going to get the July 21st release. And this is some advice to Blizzard, right? There is no reason you have to put the final number in here, okay? Just put a random number that doesn't make any sense, like put like 27 million or something like that in here in the duration, and then when the date is coming, you change that number again. Doesn't that make a lot more sense? But yes, Blizzard leaked the launch date of Pandaria. I am pretty sure we're gonna hear about it in 5 days with the Joyous Journeys launch, and they are gonna say exactly when the launch date is gonna be. They should have it pretty much set up by then. That's when I expected. What's gonna be 27th? Let me see here. 27th is gonna be a Tuesday. Oh, reset day. That makes sense. Now, you may tell me the timing doesn't work, okay? I will give you a historical example, okay? When Cataclysm launch was happening, they dropped Joyous Journeys without a warning. Like, they just randomly dropped it. They didn't say we're gonna drop it next week. No, they just dropped it without announcing it like day one, and that's when they announced it, right? They like doing surprise drops for Joyous Journeys. They do not like telling people Joyous Journeys is gonna come out, because if you tell people a week ahead of time that Joyous Journeys is gonna come out and they are gonna get more XP, people are gonna stop playing, right? They are gonna go like, oh, I'm just gonna play next week when I get more XP. So they don't want you to do that. They want to drop it like without any warning. But yes, if you want to level a character for MoP, wait 5 days. That's not crazy. Just wait 5 days and you're gonna get 50% XP. I leveled a shaman like an idiot and now I get free XP. Damn it. Now, on the question of is it too early? Now that's a better question to ask. If we go for a July release date, they are probably gonna open the raids in August the 10th or something like that. And we go to November, and then we go to like middle November, something like the 15th of November. That is 97 days. That is a little over 3 months between the launch of the raids in MoP and TBC launch. So if anything, I think it is too late. If you wanna enjoy MoP, if you wanna do like the entire MoP seriously and then you wanna play TBC too, that is not a lot of time to do both for a lot of people. I'm gonna be fine, right? I streamed the game, I got all the time in the world. But I could totally see how some people could be pissed by this. That's not a lot of time at all. Now, I do not think they are gonna delay TBC at all, ever, because they gotta release the retail expansion and they gotta release it early, because if they do not release it early, the retail expansion, which is their number one concern, their number one product, is gonna be straight on top of GTA 6 next year, because GTA 6 got delayed. Okay, that's a nightmare for Blizzard. They never ever wanna do that. They wanna get everything done as quickly as possible so the retail expansion can come out. So yeah, whether you like the date or you don't, and I would love to hear what's your opinion on this, especially if you're gonna play both Pandaria and TBC. Like, that's the kind of people I care about their opinion the most, because from my point of view it's a little too fast. It seems pretty tight. To me, it seems pretty tight. Subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.